Years. Earlier today, I spoke to the First Minister, Peter Robinson, to gauge his thoughts on what had been achieved.
Well, it's historical in the context that it hasn't been done for a number of generations. I think it's important because the main purpose of the way the Assembly was set up was to underpin the peace process and to provide stability in Northern Ireland. And we've achieved what was the chief goal for this period of time. But the goal of the next 4 years is very different. It's about creating an assembly which is more normal, and the St Andrews Act specifically puts a legal requirement on the next assembly to bring forward a report based on how we can improve the structures. We have a considerable list of achievements. I mean, it's not regarded publicly because good news stories don't get out, but we have created more jobs in the last 4 years than ever in the history of Northern Ireland. And not just more jobs, but better jobs than have ever been brought into Northern Ireland. We've spent more money on infrastructure in Northern Ireland, on hospitals, on roads, on houses and on schools. That's a record to be proud of.
We've talked about the achievements or what hasn't been achieved over the last 4 years. In terms of the next session of the Assembly, 2011 to 2015, is this going to be a term that is dominated by the likes of budget cuts?
Well, I think a lot of people were getting into the way of operating within political structures. I hope that the new term is going to be about getting jobs for Northern Ireland, about building up our economy, how we might improve lives for people in Northern Ireland, how we might normalise our society, how we might get a shared society in this province with people working together. I think those are the challenges that we have ahead of us, and I hope we have that rather than the party political bickering, which quite frankly does nothing to enhance or to advance.
The Deputy First Minister has spoken quite fondly over the last 24 hours about the relationship with Lord Bandside and with yourself, both huge friends of the peace process and both friends that he regards. Is that something that you reciprocate?
I think that there are people who would have doubted whether this Assembly would have survived at all. The fact that it is the first Assembly in 40 years that has been able to complete a term of office shows that we have worked professionally and well, and that though there are many differences, that we've been able to get business done and get business done in a better way than had been done under direct rule or the previous forms of devolution.